Greetings, Mr. People. Greetings, people. It's Mr. Pull the Trigger on another episode. Hey, as you see, yeah, I want to talk to you about Chris. Someone was asking me and saying that, why are you talking about Chris? Chris preaches the gospel. Chris, what? Chris is a true man of God. Chris is different from all the other people. He's a humble man. He's what? Listen, Chris is a top-notch, high-level charlatan. When it comes to occults, when it comes to cults, there is no prophet right now that is alive in Africa that can match to Chris. None. None whatsoever. Nobody. Chris has destroyed plenty of lives. Chris has... I talk much about Makandiwa, but Makandiwa is nothing compared to Chris Oyakhilome. Makandiwa is a puppy, is a nobody, is a rat, is a cockroach when we compare him to the likes of Chris. Chris has his cult, his shrines all over the world, all over. In South Africa, there are plenty shrines, Christ Embassy shrines. In Zim, in Namibia, in Congo, in Nigeria, in UK, everywhere. Chris is all over. He is the master. You know, that charlatan even divorced his wife. How do people follow someone that divorces when the Bible condemns divorce? And do you know the reason why he divorced the wife? Do you know? That's an exposure for another day. But Chris is a charlatan. They say you shall judge them by their fruits, by the fruits that they bear. So whatever that they do, put it on a scale. Don't make an exception to say, maybe the marriage. No, you don't divorce a wife if you're a true man of God. How are you going to preach to your congregations, to your couples, and tell them about marriage if you can't fight to save your own marriage as a prophet of God? How can you come and tell people about life? What kind of leadership are you giving to people? If you can't keep a woman, a single woman, how can we trust you with thousands of people? If you can't manage one individual, a woman, the mother of your children, the woman that you once loved, and you divorced her. That's the reason why Strive Masiwa even ended up living. You know, Strive Masiwa, one of the richest men in Zimbabwe, he was the major financer of Chris's Shrine. He's one guy that used to partner with close to 10%, if not 20% of his wealth on a monthly basis to Chris Oyakhilome. And when I say talk about 20%, I'm not talking about your 10% that you're used to. Your 5,000 rands, your $600, your 10,000 rands. This type of 10%, it will come as a 50 million, 100 million, 200 million. That would be Strive's 10% on a monthly basis, or even 300 million. That's the kind of partnership. He was a very strong arm in Chris's ministry, was supportive to Chris's ministry. But the moment he divorced, that's when Strive Masiwa is a man of God. He's deep in the word. He understands the word. So the moment someone deviates from the biblical principles, you can't trust those people. They're flip-flop. Everything that they are not practicing what they preach. Everything that they stand on the pulpit and talk about is not in alignment with their actions. So you can't trust someone that is out of character like that. You must practice what you preach, Chris. But who cares about what you preach, because you preach heresies as well. You are a heretic preacher. But listen, the purpose of this video, I wanted to just start with there's a small exposure that was done by the 419 journalist. Most of you know him, called Solomon Izang, and J. Israel. So they came together. There's a time that they came together and they wanted to work together and do this exposure thing together. But because of because of greed, their relationship couldn't last long. Because it's another exposure for another day. But in a nutshell, what I'm just trying to say is they were the hosts and they were helping to tell the narrative or the story of this particular lady that was very close to Chris, that used to be a presenter for one of Chris's channel. Her name is Sihle. And Sihle was giving her testimony about her experience, what she saw in Chris's house. Apparently, she was invited to Chris's house. I'll just give you a brief summary of her testimony, but I'll play the video though. Apparently, she was invited by Chris Oyakhilome to his house in Dainfen, 4 Ways, Johannesburg. And when she went there, as she was waiting in the waiting room to meet Pastor Chris, not Pastor Chris, to meet charlatan Chris, she thought, oh man, she got praise. Let me go to the what? To the recess, to the loo. I just want to relieve myself. And when she was looking, it's a big house. Of course, these charlatans, you give them money. And the big houses, mansions, that way now you will never live in your entire life or in your life to come, or even if you were to die again and live again, you will never be able to afford that kind of a house. And the reason why they afford it is because they take your small money and everyone else. It's a game of numbers. And everyone else's small money and they put it together and then they can afford those big houses. They live luxuriously while you are suffering, and you will forever suffer because you are very stupid. For how long do I have to keep telling you to stop giving your money to these charlatans? They're just abusing you. They're just abusing the money and they're just taking you for a ride. Nothing changes in your life. It's only them that gets enriched. So this lady was looking for a restroom. She was looking for the loo so that she can relieve herself in that big mansion while she was waiting to meet the charlatan from Nigeria called Chris. So in her expedition to look for the loo, she accidentally opened a door, which she had no idea where that door leads. When she entered into that room, she saw a coffee table. And that coffee table, it kind of turned into an anaconda, into a python. And it raised its head like this. It sounds like a movie, but that's how she narrated it. I'm just making it sound like a movie, but I want you to get the graphical content. So this lady walks into a room. She opens a door. No, listen, all the puns aside. Let's be serious with this. I want this to hit home so that you know there's no way someone can make something up like that. Believe you me, no one can make stuff like that up. So she enters this room. She enters a door. And when she looks at this table, there's something that is funny about this table. It's glittering and it's moving. And in the midst of its moving, she sees a snake. That table, I don't know if it was a table, if it was a snake that has rolled itself to look like a table. So that snake raises its head like this and it looks at her like this. And then she's just standing there in amusement, trying to figure out what's happening. You can't scream in a luxurious mansion. No, you can't. You have to behave. You have to act. You have to compose yourself and act like everything is normal. So when she saw that snake, she got struck. She couldn't believe it, what she was saying. And she just got numb. By the works of the living God, she managed to just leave that room and close the door behind her. And when she went back to her friend to say, hey, friend, I don't know what I saw. I can't tell you what I saw now. Let's get the hell out of here. Let's leave. Just as she was about to leave, the charlatan appears. Chris appears. Oh, my daughters, you are welcome. You are welcome to the house of the Lord. Which house of the Lord? To the couch, to the shrine. So chances are the snake was Chris himself. These people, they do things in the backyard that you'll never understand. I'm just narrating a story that I heard, but I'm going to play the video for you so that you can get a full understanding of her experience with Chris. The point that we just want to hit home here is don't trust these charlatans. Don't follow through everything that they say. Don't believe in everything that they are into. Your life is headed for hell. Don't mind J. Israel and Solomon Izang on the video. Just focus on the lady's testimony.
Then at the gate, the security wouldn't let me in because it was full. So Eunice had to walk and come and get me. So I got in there and then we sat there and then I saw Pastor Chris wearing a white suit from the back and I'm thinking, privileges of being a presenter, you know. Saw him from the back and that was it. And the next day again, I was told, no, you have to come back. And I got a call again from Eunice saying, Sihle, please, you have to meet us at the church. Pastor Chris wants to see you. We need to introduce you to Pastor Chris. And I'm thinking, oh, wow, whatever. So I drove the next day. Now they specifically told me that he's only in the country between January and March. Yeah. Or whatever the case is, just for healing school, for that time of healing school. Then I went there and then we were put in the Lavotsat bus and we drove to a home that they said was his house. got to his house, and
Where was this house?
it's in the north of Joburg, like
Okay.
around Dainton area.
Okay.
And then we got there, and now me, those who know me, I don't just see something and not ask questions. I ask, and I'm very vocal. So I sat there, and then there were people there, but now there were bodyguards. There were heavy arms and stuff. And I'm thinking, okay, fine, I want to see the man of God, and na. And then, hey, guys, you know, all I remember is he came, greeted us, and then he was going to see us, and then he went back in, and then I needed the bathroom, walked into one of a room I wasn't supposed to walk into. But when I walked in like this, like I could see like this.
So you just walked in uninvited into
I needed the toilet.
Okay.
So I don't know people's toilets, you know, and I'm very chachara.
Yeah.
So when I walked in, and as I looked there, I saw something like it's like a table, you know, like those dining tables.
Okay.
Right.
But when I looked, this dining table moved, and it just changed. So this thing just turned and looked at me like that. Hey! I didn't scream. I just stood there. And I looked at it, and I was like frozen in my whole body started shaking, and I was shivering. And I realized, like the mind is saying run, and the heart is saying stand. But then it's as if something just picked me out of that room.
Yeah.
And I walked out of the room, I went and I sat back. And I thought, shit, I just saw a fucking big snake. What the fuck is going on?
Sorry for the swearing.
You have to,
Sorry for the swearing.
sorry
No
for the
swearing here.
Sorry for the swearing. She's a work in progress. I believe after this we are going to lead her to Christ, and you have to use your testimony to
Yeah.
win souls out there.
Yeah.
So we apologize
Oh,
for that.
yeah. Do you understand?
And when I saw it, I sat down. And so when I came back, I sat like this. And this sister that I was sitting with, I said to her, hey. She says, what? I said, we must go. She said, I said, I saw a big python in there. I need to go. So immediately when I said that, Pastor Chris appeared, and he just said, he speaks very soft and gentle. And he's like, I don't know what he said to the people, and he's like, oh, come, let me lay hands on you. And he did that. And then the next thing you know, he's like, you may go. And then we were ushered out, but then we were given like bags written Love World set, like envelopes kind of. Got into the kumbi. So in the kumbi, I'm like, hey, so you people were planning to kill me. So me, I was going there to be a sacrifice. You were planning to kill me. So I went on and I made noise about it. And they were like, Sikla, keep quiet, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Then I stopped, I think, for about a month or two to stop presenting the show, because I was like, this is witchcraft. I don't want to die before my time.
Yeah.
I saw these things here. Then when they said Pastor Chris was gone, he's no longer in South Africa, they then started saying, oh, Sister Sikla, please, we need you. The show won't work. You must come, you must come. Then I went back and I started presenting the show until about 3 months ago. I said, please, goodbye. I'm not interested in this your
Just
show
3
again.
months ago.
Yes, I stopped. Immediately 3 months ago, I said, I'm not interested in your show again, because now.
Yes, Church of God, stay awoke, stay awoke, stay awoke. Open your eyes. It's up to you to believe it or not. You choose. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. But that was a testimony. So if you're new to this channel, subscribe and click the notification icon so that you don't miss a single episode that I put through about these false charlatans. Subscribe to my channel, and then I'll check you out on the next chapter, on the next episode. It's your boy, Mr. Pull the Trigger. I'm out.